Players Only podcast today. I was thinking we talk about how games are going all digital. What are people calling it exactly? The loss of physical media,
Yeah.
at least for gaming. We'll have to weigh in on LeBron James. Signing with Philadelphia, maybe not too much buzz, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah. I have another thing kind of to bring up too, and I'm kind of curious what you're gonna say.
All right. Fun. Well, otherwise, we've already kind of talked about games going from physical to digital completely a little bit before on stream. I guess to rephrase or to re-say my take. So I believe, yeah, all the discs will be gone, but instead there'll be some sort of collectibles, action figures, amiibo-like things, trading cards.
Yeah.
And somehow it'll go hand in hand with the games, whether it be skins, DLC, maybe it unlocks the full game. I don't think, you want kids walking around Walmart, Target, whatever retail store, and they don't see your game on the shelf. Unless you're super well known or you're paying, streamers and YouTubers. I think you want to have something there that kind of catches their eyes, or else it's going to be really hard to advertise in a way, or just have people know your game's out and what systems it's on or not on,
Well,
etc.
here's an easy argument against that though. Arc Raiders, not a physical game. It was one of the biggest, at least for a little period of time. I think now it's pretty much dead, but it was ridiculously big for a short period of time, granted, with no physical release. And it was, I give most of it to Peanut, but obviously also a couple handful of streamers. I feel like in general, the kids these days don't care about the stores, at least store presence anymore. I think it's more, what is my streamer playing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that plays more of an impact than the game in the store or even collectibles or whatever in a store. I think it relies more heavily on what is my streamer playing. So, and if a streamer is playing a game that is digital only, then that's what they're going to buy. I mean, I buy mostly digital. I hate that they're going no physical, but we'll get into those reasons why. But I think that the digital part doesn't play in as much with what the kids are buying, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I feel like Fortnite also falls into that. We're right, no physical release.
They had a physical release initially. Because it was the Save the World. They had and then attached to it was the Battle Royale. And then they released the Battle Royale physical games too.
On what systems? Everything?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was everything. And then when you bought the actual physical game, you got extra skins or Fortnite bucks, whatever, V-Bucks.
Okay. I mean, I didn't even know it was a physical thing. I guess that
I'm surprised you haven't seen it. At least
I feel like I've seen buy this and you'll get some skins and maybe something in Fortnite, but not like the game itself.
Yeah.
And I guess, with the physical presence too, you have kids, so I guess you maybe have a little bit more insight there. But then, do you see a day where you're just walking in Walmart, Target, and all there is a little section to buy PlayStation consoles, controllers, and that's just all they're gonna have in there?
If you go to Target, that's all it is, really. They're at the Target I go to, they sell maybe 10 to 12 games at a time, but otherwise it's just the console, it's just the controllers, it's just the accessories to go with the console, and that's it. At least for PlayStation. For Xbox, they have 4 games to sell, and then it's just the console and then the controllers. This is going to be outrageous of me to say, the only console that actually is predominantly still selling their games in store along with accessories and the consoles, and of course the million of accessories that they sell all the time is Nintendo.
Yeah.
At Target they have like 20 games. It's double both. It's fucking PlayStation and Xbox combined for games, physical games in the store is what Nintendo's doing. It's outrageous. So for here, maybe this is. I think this falls along similar. Why do you think Nintendo physical games never lose their value, right? And it always selling. Now, granted, they've had a couple games that has been digital only. You just basically buy the box with the code or whatever.
Yeah.
But they do still sell with the physical thing. Why do they hold their value so much more than, let's say, like the PlayStation and the Xbox? And then, but those are the companies that are going away from the physical. Do you think? Especially because you're in that space a lot.
I think because of collecting, basically, and then instead of a new Halo, Call of Duty, games like that, a new one every year, they do like one Zelda console generation.
Yeah.
And you could maybe say, oh, two. But then, if you remember, Breath of the Wild also came out on the Wii U. So it was like the Zelda game at the end. It was more like the Switch one, I kind of think of. But yeah, I think it's just the collectability, not a lot of discounts.
Never any discounts. Really.
No.
Which is crazy. Because I'll know, like, if I ever traded in a game at GameStop, Nintendo is like almost full price. You're getting back for a trade-in value. Is it crazy? But then, like, even Sony's bigger games, like God of War, it's won a console, right? We had Ragnarok for PS5, God of War for PS4, and then the other ones for PS3, PS2. But even then, those are still heavily discounted even now.
Yeah. I would say those ones do sell better than the other junk on the PlayStation. Looking at all the racing games, the dancing games.
Oh yeah.
Sports.
That's a great game, by the way.
Enter the Matrix.
Yeah, it's very hated, but I loved it as a kid.
I've never tried it.
But yeah.
So, do you ever see a world where like Funko Pops could sell people something physical, unlock something digital in the game, and then like Sony, Microsoft would get like a cut of the sale? Because aren't Funko Pops doing? I feel like one day I hear they're bankrupt, one day they're doing all right.
It's yeah, it's weird because it's the licensing game. Because so Fortnite, for example, biggest game in the world for the most part, right? It has its ups and downs, but overall, it's outlasted what most experts would say they even should have lasted, right? And it's mostly due to IPs and events and all that stuff. They've never made a profit. Never. They lost $1 billion last year.
Wow.
But they still make an outrageous amount of money because I think in total last year, their gross was like $5 billion, but they still was a total loss of $1 billion, which is outrageous. But I think that's also in the same realm for Funkos is on paper, they lose money, but they are still bringing in a ton of cash because of IPs and all the different stuff. The thing is, that Funko market is so crazy. Like, you've seen like this different stuff that I'll sell like with my Funkos. Those range outrageous. Like eBay will send me things like, hey, you're underpriced. Hey, you're overpriced. On a day to day on a couple of them. So that market's really volatile lately. I will say that. But as far as would they ever team up and do something like that? I know Sony has their own. They've tried to get into like the Funko games, and theirs looks stupid and kind of cheap. So I don't know. Maybe I think that they're so heavily invested on just not selling anything, just straight digital, because then they don't have to invest more of anything but cinematic trailers that people don't even care about anymore. I think it's too many of these old heads at the top of the studios that don't understand what gamers actually want nowadays, and they're too focused on what they want versus what everybody else wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's something, right? Because let's say Sony, for example. Well, as soon as Sony announced that they were doing the digital games only as of 2028, they already started closing down the warehouses and all that stuff, right? And the machines to be making the games.
Yep.
So that means they're going to be making more money per game. So does that mean the game's going to be better? Because gaming is trash.
Yeah.
Now, right? I mean, for the most part, every game that gets released is unfinished, needs a million updates before it's playable. The Crimson Desert, for example, is a decent game when it came out, lots of stuff, but then they had to do 15 updates to add stuff because players hated half the game, right? Call of Duty is always super unfinished, is always super janky at the first week. Every single game that releases is so janky the first 3 days.
Yeah.
Does that mean we're not going to get that anymore? Does that mean we're actually going to get better games, different games? No. I mean, they're going to make even more profit, because I think it's like they'll make an extra like $15 or something like that a game without releasing physical games. All right, where's that extra cash going? In your pocket or in the actual game? Because that's what their biggest thing was. It's too expensive to make games now. So
that's kind of crazy. Yeah, they said that. I thought it was just like, oh, well, we see a lot of digital games being sold, so we're just gonna only do digital now. So maybe we could get into why you're against only digital.
So I'm against it because it corners the market, right? That means, like, sticking with PlayStation, if you can only buy the games in one place, the PlayStation Store, you just create a monopoly. You never need to do what Nintendo does, right? You never need to discount your games. It can be full price, and you can force people to play it, especially for PlayStation exclusives, right? That are never going to go on PC, never go on Xbox or Nintendo or anything like that. This is the only place you're going to play the new God of War. So guess what? You're going to pay $80 or you're never playing the game. At least with places like GameStop and, yeah, sure, Target and Walmart, whatever, having the game. You know, gamers are frugal. They're going to look for deals, right? If GameStop has Battlefield 6 for $20 and on the PlayStation Store it's still $60, where am I going to fucking buy the game? You know?
Right.
So, and I hate paying full price for games. I don't think half the games that get released nowadays are worth $60, $70, $100. Gaming is starting to become a very expensive hobby.
Yeah. I wish there was new experiences, I feel like, with the games too. You know, a month ago when we were reacting to all the trailers,
they were all the same game.
Yeah. Or just stuff that's been done a million times before. So,
and like, God, I can't believe I'm going to do this. This is where I'll give Nintendo a little bit of credit. Half the games that they release on Directs, you're like, all right, this is fucking stupid. But at least it's different sometimes. And in a lot of ways, some of them are just look like mobile games, and half of them look like, all right, we're doing the same Pokemon game over and over. But at least it's semi of different stuff, you know, different palettes, rather than everything is a sword game or everything is a open world thousands quests where all the quests are the same as every other game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what gaming is really turning into, where you buy a game, you're really excited because it looked cool, and then it turns out it's the exact same game more or less that you played from a different publisher, with a different color palette and a different character. You know what I mean? So That's why when James Bond came out, I bought it. It was finally a different game that they tried something different. Expedition 33. Everybody hates on it. They did something different, and people loved it. At least when it came out. And that's where like the AA games are kind of showing out more, and those have to be digital because they don't have the budget for worldwide releases and games and physical copies and stuff. And I'm fine with that. But then that means the AAA's need to step it up.
And we'll see what happens there.
It won't, but I mean, at least Call of Duty, they listened after 6 years. Hey, we want something a little different. So they're trying something at least with the new Modern Warfare. We'll see if it's any good.
Oh.
But at least they're trying.
Yeah, it looks good, but I mean, again, it still just looks like the normal modern day Call of Duty, which maybe isn't horrible, but
it's better than wall running and stupid.
Right. None of the Black Ops 7 crap.
See, I don't mind that it looks the same for the most part, but I like that there's some different features rather than you have something like Madden, where every year is going to be $80, but every year it's the exact same game with just different players and different numbers. You know what I mean? They don't ever try anything new. Or it's like they'll take one feature out for the 1 year and then they'll bring it back and say, hey, brand new feature. Go blow it, EA. But
how many Maddens have you bought the last 10 years?
Full price? 0.
How big of a discount do you normally buy them at? Half off?
Around the Super Bowl, they'll be $10 to $15.
Oh, so you wait till the end of the season.
Yeah, and then I'll usually like play it. Otherwise, on the EA Pass that I get, it's included with my PlayStation membership. It's usually just included, so I just play it then. So I just wait till it's free. But otherwise, if it's $15, I'm itching for a Madden, I'll buy the new one. Just for updated rosters.
Yeah, now that we brought up sports, LeBron. My thoughts on Philly was a surprise. 2 years, $8 million. That was a surprise. I thought he'd get a little bit more. Not that he needs more money. I thought he was going to go back to Cleveland. I even thought the Warriors he just would for fun. On paper, I think they're the favorites to win it all. Philadelphia now. Can they stay healthy? We'll see.
Who's on that team?
Joel Embiid. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey. And Embiid, like last year, supposedly he's healthy right now, and end of last year he was for once, but I don't know. It's hard to bet on because every year in the playoffs he's missing games.
So do you think this basically hurts or destroys Bronny's career now? That he's not being helped out by Daddy and the Lakers?
Yeah. Like, I think he'll end up in Philadelphia here soon. If not by the trade deadline. Because I just don't see them trying to, like, develop him, give him minutes when they know he's just going to leave and at some point be on his dad's team.
Yeah. Follow Daddy for a couple years.
Yeah. So I do think, too, again, LeBron will be in Philadelphia a couple of years, and then he'll play one final year in Cleveland. Even though we put out a message saying that, like, after these 2 years, I'm done, I think even if they don't have a championship ready team in a couple of years, he'll just go back there to, for his, like, farewell tour, and then...
What is he, 45?
Not that old yet. I think 42.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he would. But or he turns 42 in December, something like that.
So it'll be 44-ish at the end of this contract if he finishes out the contract, and his last year at 45. You think?
Yeah. And again, I don't think it'll be a championship team, but I think it'll be hey, goodbye everybody kind of year.
Right. Okay. What did you think of the rumors or whatever for Bron coming to Minnesota and everybody hyping it up and wanting it so badly? How much would you have wanted it?
Yeah, I would have wanted it for sure. I didn't really believe it though.
No.
Like I saw those TikToks and the gurus and just people saying they saw him downtown. And then like one of the days he was with that guy for the Pacers, Halliburton, the last name. Can't think of the first name. And I'm like, how was he in Minnesota when he was with that guy in probably LA or Florida or something?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make any sense, but
I think it would have been interesting because I think for in general, I think the Wolves need somebody like him, like the old guy mentor almost, especially for ball.
yeah.
But man, means I would never go to a Wolves game because it'd be so outrageously expensive. More than it already is going to be with both Ball and Edwards.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Wolves too, by the way.
Oh yeah,
they're going to be a whole lot better than people are saying.
Let's get your take because this is very recent. I think it just happened like a day or two ago, and you'll know as soon as I start saying it. Something that I'll sometimes bring up and it pisses you off is like the Jordan and LeBron debate, right?
Yeah.
And of course, we both all know Michael Jordan is the GOAT of all time. But
well, that's what you think. Well, what are you going to think when LeBron wins these next 2 years and ties Jordan at 6?
He
won't. Has more minutes and
he's just a stat pattern. But
no. Jordan can't last as long, I guess.
For some reason, this was brought up to good old President Trump of who he thought is the best, and he said Jordan because LeBron's a racist. When you saw that, what was your thoughts?
I know over the years, LeBron said some of the SJW stuff. I feel like he has a whole lot less lately.
Yeah.
Even playing in LA where you figure he would be all about that. But I don't know. I already kind of knew where he was at with those two.
Yeah. I thought.
Where do you think being a Jordan guy on that whole take that your man is golfing with Trump?
Yeah. I thought it was a weird question to ask the president of the United States anyway. Yeah. I was just like, I was watching, I was scrolling through TikTok, and then it's like something with the press conference, and I was watching, and I was like, why the fuck is a reporter asking the president who he likes between Jordan and LeBron? And then he's just like, well, LeBron's a racist. I was like, holy shit. I was like, all right, well, that escalated pretty quick, but I just thought it was crazy.
You seem to have a few favorites that like Trump. Throwing in Jackson Dart too.
Yeah. Well, I like who Jackson Dart throws to. Who's apparently going to be ready week 1. I'm surprised. Yeah. I'm surprised his knees actually holding together. Neighbors. You see Mahomes is going to be ready week 1. And he's actually already ready to go, which I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. They're playing on Monday night opening week. I was a little bit hoping that it was going to be Fields. I just wanted to see Justin Fields in Kansas City for 1 week, but
especially week 1 opening.
Just to see what Andy Reid could do with him for a week kind of thing.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but
so when did Mahomes go down? It was like 10?
I think it was even later than that, like week 15.
That's a really, really quick. Because it was his ACL, right?
Yeah.
That's a really quick turnaround.
Yeah.
It's like, because that's been an issue. No, it's been his ankle. That's been an issue in the past. I don't think he's ever had an ACL that I remember off the top of my head. It's a lot of leg injuries. I'm not too. I would be nervous as a Patrick Mahomes holder.
Yeah. So if you were playing in a redraft this year, you think you got to get Josh Allen? Or you're screwed at quarterback?
I don't even know who I would go after. Actually, I think this is a Lamar year.
With a new coach, you think he's going to bounce back?
I think he's gonna have a big year. I think he'll have a bigger year. I think if you just go into it with Mahomes with this injury and then it being such a quick turnaround, I think they did the quick fix, so I'll be nervous about that. Josh Allen with the new baby and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't like the new personal life. You have a lot of stuff going into a season after basically two back to back, Hall of Fame level years, essentially. At least that's my thoughts on it. I think Lamar, out of all the big names, is huge. I think I'm nervous on anybody who would take Kyler. I'm nervous on anybody. I think for Rodgers is somebody you need to drop immediately. That's somebody who has him.
I'll give you a third.
I need a quarterback.
I'll give you a third.
Yeah, I don't know. The quarterbacks, I'm a little iffy on this year. I think your boy Dart is actually
that's your boy.
Is actually probably one of the bigger good names. I don't. What do you think for what's his name in Boston? May.
Drake May.
With no digs.
We got AJ Brown this year. And Romeo Dobbs, who I'm actually not that nuts about.
He's a nice flex receiver, but he's not somebody to hanger. Well, okay. But do you think they'll stay healthy?
In New England?
Yeah.
Brown? Yeah. I think Buffalo's straight up better. I think Buffalo's going to come back and win that division. But yeah.
Do you think Al's going to have a big year? 3 in a row?
Who's going to have another big year?
Allen, 3 in a row?
He should.
That's 2 monsters years in a row. That's huge.
Yeah.
If you go for 3 and you don't win a Super Bowl or you don't actually make some headway in the playoffs, I don't know.
Yeah. I will say it was either the end of the fourth quarter or the overtime. There was an intercepted ball that I think should have been a completion by Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
But that was months and months ago now. So
all right, here's something we didn't talk about. Burrow. What kind of season do you think he's gonna have?
Oh yeah, I think it'll be real good. I think he'll finally stay healthy.
That'd be nice.
That division's kind of hard to pick though. It's him in Baltimore again should be good, but who knows?
It's weird how the Bengals in general lose like the first 3 or 4 games every single season, and then they go on a massive run towards the end. It's always like, will they make it? Will they not make it for the playoffs because they lost all these games at the the beginning? He needs to stay healthy. Did they even do anything for the O-line? I don't think they did.
I don't think so. I think just D-line. They got a couple of the guys we used to have here.
Yeah, so that O-line is still trash. Yeah. He's still going to get trampled.
Yeah, so again, maybe to end things, you could give me Jackson and Dart's prediction for this season and then going forward.
Well, Neighbors will be back. I think, and he's been sitting for long enough that he should be very, very healthy. And I think Neighbors could honestly be wide receiver 1 for the entire year. And outdo Jefferson and Jamar Chase. As long as his knee can hold up. So, who else is on that fucking team? Barkley, right?
Philadelphia.
No.
Cam Scatterboo is the running back now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who also went down because of injury because he just runs like a fucking train. Here's the thing. If let's say in a perfect world, right? Neighbors is completely healthy and Scatterboo with how he runs, somehow remains healthy, it's a 12-win team. Maybe more.
Win the division. Philadelphia, Dallas, Commanders.
I think they'll do better than Commanders for sure. I think Commanders will be last. Philly, I wish we're last. I hate that fucking team. I think they'll be second in the division.
Okay. I gotta ask one more question again. You have Jackson Dart in a fantasy football league, let's say.
Yeah.
Someone offers you Jaden Daniels, Dynasty League.
No. Absolutely not.
Oh my god. Okay.
No. I think Daniels got exposed last year. I think he's not as I don't think he's as good as his rookie season makes him out to be.
No.
Time will tell. But I also was never super high before his rookie season, and then it was like, all right, maybe we're all completely wrong. And then his second season came up. Even when he was healthy, he wasn't very good.
Well. All right. Kind of a bold take there.
He wasn't very good at the start of his sophomore season.
God, I wish I had Jackson Dart right now in fantasy. I would flip that. I would do that trade so fast. Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I would make that trade. I think fantasy wise, I think you have a lot more upside with Dart. Because he runs, he has more options. Yeah, I think in general, way more upside.
Yeah, so like he's a top 5 dynasty quarterback.
Ooh,
top 10.
Hey, top 10.
Okay.
I can confidently say top 10, but 10. I would need to
12-win team.
Hey, if you're behind, that means you're putting up monster points because you're always throwing it.
Yeah.
And I've seen those throws to Neighbors. I mean, that's why I'll never. I mean, I was debating on trading Neighbors and stuff like that because his knee.
What do you want
3
for
surgeries. 3 firsts. But now that he's going to be ready for week 1, I'm a lot more confident. If he wasn't going to be ready for week 1, and we were talking like week 3, 4, I'd be extremely nervous. For when it comes to Neighbors, when it comes to Dart, all that. So
yeah. Well, I think we'll wrap things up there. That was kind of the topics going on for this week. I can tell everyone coming up soon we'll have a reselling series. Highly anticipated. Going to be well done. After my little vacation up north to the wildfires and your vacation to Cancun.